Guys, this is Sophie. Sophie's from Mildura. She's a mad keen Kangaroos fan. Just spent some time with Jack.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So Sophie travels down and has done for a long period of time. Can you give us a little bit of background on how often you've travelled and the connection to the Royal Children's Hospital?
So I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at 5 weeks old, and ever since then I've been going to the Royal Children's and have tune-ups regularly at the moment, every 3 months for 2 weeks.
And you've had a going home tomorrow
Yes.
for Easter, which is nice. You've had a short stay this time, haven't you?
Yeah,
First
I have.
time?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Mum and Dad in the background.
Yeah.
Little brother. Cool. Royal Children's have been pretty important for you and the family, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, so very good. Very special day for you. I hope you have a lovely Easter in the next couple of days at home.
Thank you.
How long's the trip home?
5 to 6 hours.
Plenty of Easter eggs in the car? No? Easter eggs in the car on the way home?
We've got 2 cars down here, so it's boys and girls. Girls will take 6 hours, boys are really 5.
Cool. Yeah, well.
Jack and Jai. Yeah.
So you're on 360 with Jai and then you saw Jack today.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Great special event, so thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
So, David, after such a great performance last week, must be pretty disappointing to produce the performance you did today, I guess.
No, I don't think so. I think we rallied pretty hard in the second and third. I think those 2 quarters combined, we're probably in front. We've got to chase those improvements as we go. It wasn't a great start. I mean, you give a good team a chance like that, we couldn't get our hands on the ball, and to their credit, they punished us. We would have liked them to be a little bit more inaccurate and follow that normal trend they had in the last few weeks. But look, it could have blown out significantly towards the end. I thought our guys rallied, they tried hard, we tried a few things, we moved a few players around. We didn't get the win. I understand the sentiment, but I don't necessarily agree with it. We've got to go to work on that first quarter. There's no doubt about that. That's really not the way we wanted to start. I didn't get that feel from the players off the get-go. I thought our training during the week was really good. But as I said, we're playing a really good team, a mature team.
What was your message at quarter time? Because you didn't get that spark in the second quarter.
Yeah, well, you know what? Cover the corridor, compete on the contest, and let's get the ball forward. I mean, it was exactly like how we wanted to play. That we know if we can restrict the Bulldogs' movement through the corridor and not allow that switch and that run and carry quickly, we felt off what we did last week. If we got the ball forward, we knew we had some firepower there with Jack and with Larks. I thought Larks, played another good game today. We just reiterated again. We sort of said, right, let's move on and let's see if we can get ourselves back into the game, which they did.
I guess the final margin was close to 70 points, so you can sort of see how, externally, people
Yeah.
understands it.
Yeah, absolutely. But from where we started, from the position that we got behind, I thought we rallied pretty hard. And look, please don't criticise me saying that that's acceptable. That's not. I get the first quarter. We're not happy at all. But to try to then, what ends up happening when you get into those positions, you've got to chase the game pretty hard, and everything has to go your way. We probably got it on the terms that we wanted to in the second. Last week we got it for most of the sort of the game, and so we put 3 of those quarters strongly together, and today we only put probably 1.5, 2 quarters together. So we're still learning, we're still growing, and we're still pushing to get better.
What was the pressure so low though? It kind of was a surprise that it was so low.
Yeah. Well, they started at a pretty high level, got hold of the ball and didn't give it back. I think that was the element. I think we ended up just getting a bit frustrated out there. I think, from a teammate's perspective, stoppages weren't at the great, thing that we'd been, execution, we'd been at a great level in the previous probably 3 or 4 weeks. And they moved it quickly forward. We even struggled to get 1 extra behind the ball, I think a few times too, Pete, to just try to slow it down. That'll be something that we'll talk to the players about. I haven't spoken to the players yet, but yeah, the pressure was, I mean, we flipped in it first quarter, second quarter was completely different. So, yeah, we need to try and understand why that happened.
How frustrating was it as a coach, because the second quarter you had a 16-minute burst, we kicked 5 goals.
Yeah.
It was completely different to what happened in the first quarter.
Yeah. Look, I understand the sense of the frustration, and you know, I acknowledge that. I think what we look at is that's what we've got capacity to do. We've just got to find that more and more and more. That's the exciting bit, I think, you know, and terrific of our fans to turn up today in the numbers that they did. But we just need to do it more. You know, we've got to understand what happens and to wrestle the ball back at better times than what we did today. We did it better previous week, slightly different team that were playing in the way that they played it. So we've got to go and chase that ball harder and quicker, because, you know, the Bulldogs spread got us early, and then when we wrestled that pressure factor back in the second quarter, we were able to get it back into our terms.
Are you happy with how Jack's going up forward?
Yeah, I thought he was a tad unlucky not to get a couple more free kicks. I think he and Larks are just going to continue to work together pretty well. I think Jack, you know, presents really well. There's a few times we probably felt there was more of an option for him to hold and get it in there a bit quicker to him. You know, we wanted to play direct. We wanted to play with some fast flow. We know that he's such a powerful one-on-one player, if we can get it in there to him. So there was a few times we felt that we could have used him a bit more. I think he and Larks, depending what happens with Cam in the next couple of weeks, I think, you know, they're three players that have got versatility. They've got different ways that they go about the ball, and they can all impact on the scoreboard.
The fluctuation in the first half momentum, is that possibly just something that's just you know, an attribute of a team that's in the belt that you guys find yourself in? Could that also be?
I think so, yeah. Your progression's not linear. You know, it goes up, it rises and falls. Today it fell early and then it rose up a bit. We've got to make sure that it keeps improving though. We can't just let it, you know, be acceptable, turning up and having a quarter or a quarter and a half, or thinking that, you know, quarter 2 and 3 is acceptable. We understand that, but it is a natural tendency for teams to fluctuate a bit like that. We've got to try and take those bigger bumps out of it.
What do you say to the people who will say that you should lose this marquee game after a hefty loss?
Yeah, look, as a whole of club, it's not just about the game. Between us and the Bulldogs in the last 6 or 7 years, we've worked really hard, you know, to make this a marquee game. I mean, these are great examples with Sophie being here and for us to raise funds for the Royal Children. So it's not just about the game. I think if you go back and have a look, and I might have mentioned this last year, if you go back and have a look at the history of our marquee games previously, there are a lot of other clubs that haven't actually hit the mark on those marquee games. And, you know, over a period of time, you're able to wrestle things together, improve their performance, and so therefore those marquee games hold. So we're fighting like tooth and nail on this game. We love this game. We're very privileged to play in this game. But yeah, we would not expect to lose this game.
Would you be? Is there any concern that may happen?
No. No, I just want to make it clear from our club's perspective, we expect to play in this game every year. We're making it a marquee game. We understand and love the significance of it, but it's a whole club aspect. It's not just about... I understand today's a big piece of it. I understand that, but it's a bit broader than that. We do a lot of work behind the scenes as a club to support the Royal Children's Hospital and Good Friday.
The crowd really got going in the second quarter.
They did.
Kicking those bags of goals.
Yeah.
The crowd's really getting behind it.
Oh, I could hear them in the box. We felt their energy. You know, we wanted to do a bit more, but yeah, I can't thank the supporters enough for their understanding and their knowledge of where we want to go and how we're trying to get there. They've been extremely supportive. I know there's a few out there that'll be frustrated, but they understand, they get it, and to hear them and give them something today to really cheer about, not having had crowds here for a while, was bloody good.
What's the initial feel around Aaron Hall? Looked like a bit of a nasty one. Was he attended?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't spoken to the medicos. I've seen him walking around with his ice, so I'm not too sure. Coming off a 6-day break, we're going into a 9. Obviously, I don't think he'll be available, but yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't had an update just yet.
You get enough out of Todd Goldstein?
I'll have to go back and have a look at the tape, I think, Pete. His role's a little bit different at the moment. We've probably tended to have X as our number one ruck, Todd's been able to be a bit more of a foil for us up forward. He didn't get on the scoreboard today, but I'll have to go back and just sort of assess, I think, from a tape perspective to see, or from a game vision perspective, just to give you a bit more clarity on that.
How would you say Tristan's development in the role?
It's pretty quick, yeah. I think his pre-season, I've made mention of the fact that I thought he was probably in our top 3 or 4 performers over pre-season. I think that's now presenting really well in the manner that he's going about his footy. He's learning, quickly. He played against a good player today. English gave us a lot of trouble around the ground. We wanted the rucks to play him a bit closer, and they couldn't get to him. But I think his progression's been great. And the other thing I just want to acknowledge, I thought, Dry's contribution in his 100th game, he just digs deep. He gives you everything he's got every week. He's a terrific leader internally for us. I'm just really disappointed we couldn't get up and, be able to carry him off on his 100th game.
I guess the job that Perez looked like he did on Hunter seemed like to be pretty effective on Lockie Hunter.
Yeah, there's a couple of good jobs. I thought Kane Turner did a pretty reasonable job on Caleb. We had a couple of goes at Bont. He ended up kicking 3 and we sort of did okay. We didn't do a very good job on Smithy. And McRae, not too bad. So that's the midfield learning how to play some of those roles. We had Jai, we had Huey doing most of those roles. But I've been really impressed with Flynn. His understanding of the game, his quick decision maker. These games are great for those young guys. For the Jack Marnies, the Flynn Perez's, the Eddie Fords to play in. They're significant with their growth in being able to understand and the feel of a day like today. So we do take some of those positives out of it for today.
Jed Anson returned to the VFL. What was the
Yeah.
plan with him? Can we expect to see him play semi soon?
I would have thought so. Yeah, he's got to a pretty good level reasonably quickly. He played 3/4 of a game over the 4 quarters today. Will Phillips came back and played a half today. CJ Coleman Jones played pretty well today. So we'll just assess where Jed's numbers are over this week. It might be another one. He might be ready to go. We'll just assess. But his touch seemed pretty good today.
Jack Marnie seemed to hobble a little bit.
Yeah, ankle in the end. So not sure how bad. He we gave him another opportunity on the wing, but he was just too sore. So we took him straight off. So not sure where that one sits either, Pete.
So just on Will Phillips,
Yep.
Come back from glandular fever. The plan with him, does he need games in the VFL before he comes in the ones?
Well, he's a bit different to Jed in that he did a full pre-season. So he's had a small window out. We think we've got him back to a reasonable level, which is why we brought him back in for half today. He ended up coming in here as our 24th, if you like, in case we need him. So we're reasonably confident where he is. Again, he might be like Jed. We might need a little bit more game time into him in the next week. But yeah, that would be helpful to get those 2 guys that are back in contention for selection. I've mentioned that before. We need pressure from underneath for selection. That helps us as well. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Good girl. Got anything to say? Shout out to Mum and Dad?
No.
Okay. Righto. Well done. Thanks, guys.